Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Unknown Comics Podcast, episode 27. I'm Brandon. Who are you?
Darren.
Who are you?
I'm Tanner.
And you?
Still Chris.
Still Chris. Hi, everyone. Hope everybody is having a great Thursday evening. Hope everybody can hear me right now. I mean, most people don't have a hard time hearing me.
No.
That is, it's kind of my claim to fame. Yeah. So, I missed last week, and what the hell happened?
We started early, sorry.
The 1 week I go,
It sounds like
Early
we went back
happens.
and watched that.
It's so we say here, we start early last week, Brandon gets mad.
See,
we buy a theater so everybody can go watch Black Widow together. Brandon gets mad.
No, see-
so I don't know what makes Brandon happy.
See, I miss, and y'all go on late. Brandon misses, we go on early.
it just makes no sense. I am not mad about renting out the theater for Black Widow. It was just the scheduling of it.
Well, it's kind of got to be that way.
You know, opening night? What's the problem with the schedule?
Could we have fit it where we still did it on time?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
No, because that's the earliest they would allow me to do the movie, and most of the staff.
Why
that's
did
coming,
it need to be early?
Because most of the staff can't come because lots of staff have kids.
I get it, but still.
Are you going to the movie with us?
Yes. Yeah, I'll bring the daughter.
If
And plus, I didn't know about it
you
either.
got that attitude.
Because you keep leaving the one group chat we keep adding you to. It's info of knowledge. As y'all are all learning, out of the four of us, Brandon by far is the diva.
He's not saying no to that.
Here in a few seconds, he will naturally do the hair flip.
No, I think it's
No,
no.
it's tied down pretty good.
Somewhat.
It's kind of letting go. Don't touch me.
Diva.
No, that has nothing to do with it. That has to do with my personal space.
it's the Loki, whoosh,
Right?
which I saw a little clip from Black Widow where she's making fun of her for doing that. The other Lawrence Pugh, her character is making fun of
Yelena.
her. She's like, "Why are you always doing this little thing where you kind of get down in the stance and you like rock your hair back like that?" It's just like making fun of her.
Was it like the characters talking about it or the actresses?
It's going to be in the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
That's
like
funny.
an actual scene in the movie where she's acting her like, why are you always doing that little hair flip thing?
I'm excited. I'm glad it's finally happening. We're finally getting to see this movie.
I'm so excited. But before we actually go into like all the cool Marvel stuff, me and Chris went and watched Fast and Furious 9 last week.
Yeah, that's,
And it has now become comic book level.
I just want to know.
How did you go to space in a car?
I want to know when they sit down at that table and they think all this thing is the same, like, because you know every think tank starts with a whole lot of extremes. We're not going to do that. You know, that's just too far. And I think at their think tank table, they're like, all the extremes. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's.
And
they still have two more movies. I mean, they're going to go to Mars and terraform next. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen on Fast and Furious.
Little do you know, all we need to do to terraform Mars is get a muscle car on there and just spin the tires.
Yeah, it's just going to make an atmosphere.
because all you need is family.
That was the best little meme I've seen. Didn't you share that?
No, I did. Oh, man. But like, okay.
I've only ever seen the very first one, and that's it.
One of them
So-
needs to be a musical.
Yeah, maybe. All
That's
I
the
know
next Hobbs and Shaw.
is like
Pixar animated.
Tyrese Gibson's character, whatever his name is, he goes through this moment early on in the movie on one of their really, really impossible missions. One, he should have been shot to death. Then he should have been crushed by a tank. And then he should have been blown up in a minefield.
That's the other thing too, is they're alluding to the fact that they're basically superheroes.
Right. And so he goes through all of this, and he picks up his...
You saw that one, right?
He picks up this assault
I get to
rifle.
read it, though.
He picks up this assault rifle, and he just spins in circles and takes out every single military dude that's shooting at him. And then he looks at his clothes, and there's bullet holes all throughout his clothes, but somehow he's not got taken a single bullet hole.
Yeah, I'm sitting here watching it. I'm like, okay, I can understand the ones to the chest.
But he's got bullet holes in his arms.
Everything.
And so he gets to this point where he's talking to the other...
You can die from core
Yeah.
bullet wounds.
Well, and not only that,
But he's
none
not
of them- none of-
bleeding.
None of them knocked him over either. He's still standing the whole time.
He needs to see a doctor about his circulation.
But the reason why that we're now, like, I'm considering Fast and the Furious in the comic book genre, because he gets with one of the other characters, he's like, hey, man, so we've been doing this for a long time, and I would say that, you know, most people consider everything that we do damn near impossible. and we always make it without a single scratch. How do we do that? And then, like, they get to the point where these same two characters are strapped to an airplane with rockets attached to a car.
A Ford Fiero.
And they fly into space.
To save the world. I mean, it's the think tanks. I just want to sit. I want to be in one of those think tank rooms.
I can't even know myself, but like they're sitting there. The magnets
Hi, ladies and
failed. The magnets failed on the Fiero or whatever the hell it's called.
Pontiac Fiero.
Whatever.
Whatever it is.
The Ford was the
They
was
were
the probe.
they took magnets into space to destroy the satellite. The magnets failed. So this character who's been trying to deal with the whole idea of their identity, which by the way, air is being kept in their suits with duct tape.
Yeah. No, not only that, they're not wearing spacesuits. They're wearing diving suits.
Yeah, they were like scuba gear.
With the like,
Oh, good God.
he was like, it's the same. It's no biggie. It's still made for pressure.
It's like the
So when the magnets fail, they're like, how are we going to take out this satellite? We're going to have to drive through it. Well, we're not going to have enough to get back. We just got to believe. And so they just drive through the satellite in space. And they end up in a space
They don't even care anymore.
Yeah, I mean it's.
But it broke box office records.
What
And
did
I
it,
don't
what did it actually do? I didn't get a chance to look at it. As far as money goes,
I don't even know.
I'm sure I knew. Like and that's one of the big reasons why. Like kept telling Darren, I haven't seen one in theater since 5, and like I don't think I'll see the next one.
I will.
I can wait.
We've already gone to space. I mean, what else we got left? I mean, let's go to the moon and have a race. I don't know.
I mean,
And
overall, it's still entertaining, but it's just laughable.
I know. And
They're
I just
going
wanna know-
to find a temporal vortex into the X-Men universe.
And then the Walker guy who died years ago, they just won't let his character go. So, like, while his wife and all of the family is out on these missions, they explain that why he's not there is he's at home babysitting all the kids. His wife went out. He's just hanging out with the kids.
Mr. Mom.
And then at the end of the movie, they had like this little chair open and like there was one of us missing. And then his little, cheesy car
skyline.
pulls up.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the movie. And you're all like, can't they just let that character's character die? I mean, come on, man. The whole family's out fighting the war and he's babysitting.
Someone's got to watch the kids.
Yes. It's got to be someone.
I think it's interesting to me that somehow at the very beginning of the movie, Vin Diesel's kid is with him, and he has from wherever they are in Mexico till 5 hours later when he's got to be at the airport to get his kid to somebody
Yeah, Brian. He took him to Brian.
who's in America, I guess.
Yeah, it's fine.
Somehow he got to America, back to Central America, and at the airplane in the 5 hours.
By morning.
He was ready to go though.
But like, it's just so funny to see all these memes. Science doesn't matter. Not if you got family. So that's my one rant from last week. The movie overall was enjoyable.
yeah, it's still entertaining.
It was the explosions, the landmines.
Well, it's like the Mortal Kombat theory. It's just
But Mortal Kombat was designed to be over the top cheesy. But I mean, the first Fast and the Furious was not a cheesy movie.
It's like I said earlier today, like the first one was a legit movie, and everything since then has been a parody of itself.
I really would say
like a copy
after
of
the
a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy.
after the third one, that's when it began. Because they did the whole Tokyo Drift thing, and then like after that,
Well, it was when they started getting into being like spies and all these people that worked for government agencies, and that's when it started getting weird.
and I mean,
The Rock broke it.
right? Well, you have the Rock. you have
I would say
Cena.
that element was missing in this movie.
Having Dwayne Johnson in it.
Well, just those like two characters in the movie that are opposites, because most of the movies have that in a way.
Yeah.
John Cena didn't really fit that role.
Well, I think John Cena is still coming into his acting career.
Yeah, I would say this overall the movie is still not great acting wise, but for John Cena, he did a better job in this one. Than
Well,
he has
I'm
in
excited
other
to see him in
things.
Suicide Squad.
And I
Yeah.
really think it's like the
And
who's
his
who
little
of like
series.
who they can shove in the movies because like let me pay you like $100,000 to be in the next Fast and the Furious movie. 'Cause there was-
You got Charlize Theron. You've got Kurt Russell.
Kurt
Well,
Russell.
it's not even about that though. I'm talking about like some of the like music people, like the one person that busted Dom out of the
Oh, that was that Nicki Minaj or whatever?
Nicki Minaj or whatever, whatnot. I'm all like,
That's not that far of a leap because Ludacris has been it since the beginning. Also,
Yeah, Ludacris. Yeah.
he's only been around since like the third movie, I thought.
Yeah,
that's
the
long
third
enough.
one.
That's
Yeah.
long enough to be basically from the beginning, though.
Yeah, I mean, if he shows up in the next Hobbs and Hobbs
like,
and Shaw,
but like Ja Rule was in the very first one. I mean, some of those guys were in the first one, so
it's
they're not popular anymore.
It's
but-
getting crazy. And it was, I mean, again, I consider this now comic book level crazy because of the things that they're doing. And I just couldn't get past that Tyrese Gibson's character kept trying to break the fourth wall and understanding why do we
They're not
keep
dead.
living?
Yeah.
How is none of us die ever except for Gal Gadot, which is the sad one, but she's probably still alive somewhere.
No, I think she left the franchise. She didn't want to come back.
After one movie.
She was kind of. Wasn't she like the race car driver in the Wreck-It Ralph sequel? Ralph Breaks.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right.
So, are you finished?
That's my buddy trail.
That was not on
that
our
is,
topic
that is
today.
funny. That is funny though. No,
I told Tanner we were talking about this.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
So, I guess the big elephant in the room, Loki, episode 4.
A lot of things happen.
Holy cow! So
much pruning.
spoiler warnings because I guess
You've had a day.
Spoiler.
Well, technically
alert.
you've had 2
spoiler,
days.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
Spoiler. alert.
Which-
Okay, you've been warned.
probably going forward, we're going to talk about this. We may not do weekly recaps. We may do like season recaps going forward, so we're not as
Depends on the show.
spoiler heavy. We'll talk about it anyway.
We'll talk about it every week. Just
Yeah. So basically, to try to not be as spoiler heavy every episode, so people know when they can and can't listen, is the
You watch the
Okay.
episode when it comes out, and then you listen to us the next
then we talk about it.
couple
Yeah.
days.
They can't join us live though.
'Cause they had a day.
It was yesterday. They
not
had
fair.
36 hours.
2 weeks is the spoiler window.
And that's too bad for them.
Yeah, that's
You know where I get most of my information from? Spoilers. Thanks.
we're
All
not-
of these
yeah, but
podcasts
it's not,
are sharing
It's not going to
stuff.
be
Look
relevant
how long
anymore.
it took you to watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, though.
Yeah, but
That
you
was
didn't care.
Yeah, I didn't care. Like I looked at the spoilers because I look at spoilers to know should I be buying books? What do I need to know? Should I be shocked? I don't care if someone dies.
I can tell you who's like a big character that's going to show up next week in Black Widow.
No.
Going to spoiler right now?
I think I've
No.
already heard.
It's the after credit scene. I can tell you about it.
No.
Are you sure?
I want to know.
No.
Just plug your ears.
I can't. Doesn't work. It gets louder when I do this.
I mean, it's only been out there for like 2 years. How long has it been?
So, Loki episode 4.
So far, I still go with this particular series has been the best of all of the series.
Yeah, the mic's only got 2 sides that you're talking to. So if you don't talk in one of those sides, we don't hear you.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Cool. To me, Loki's been the best of the 3 series so far.
I agree.
A lot of people complained about episode 3 being slow. I do find it to be a filler episode because you really don't learn anything about the Enchantress Loki.
I feel like you learned a lot about her.
Not in episode 3. I feel like you really got to know her
Episode 3
more.
and then the first 5 minutes of this episode,
The
you
first
learned everything
fi-
you needed to know about her.
Yeah, she was taken as a child, but I still don't think she's actually a Loki. I think she was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and they just mistaked her for a Loki.
She was Loki's BFF, and she was just playing with his toys.
Yeah, probably. So
I mean, they identified her as the variant and destroyed her entire reality. So, and before she even
we
did
don't know.
anything,
We don't know that that's actually happening.
we actually think that we were talking about this earlier before the podcast. We think that maybe this whole destroying thing and making people phase shift they're not destroying anything; they're sending it to other places like Limbo.
So
possible.
jumping to the after credit scene.
since we see that with the pruning,
Yeah, since Loki gets pruned and wakes up somewhere else, maybe the worlds just basically get segmented off. When they are reset.
yep,
So
yeah, because I would think
because he wakes up in like a devastated New York.
yeah, my kids were like, "What? this is his show. Like, so pissed.
I remember I messaged you like, "There's no way Mobius and Loki are dead."
Yeah, I was like, Mobius, maybe, but then when they did it with Loki, I was like, all right, there's something else happening.
Yeah.
We're watching till the end of this one.
And they very well could write off Tom Hiddleston at the end of this, but they wouldn't do it just over halfway into
But
the
what else
season,
is
you know?
what else is Tom Hiddleston doing in his career?
Well, I think he's even said that he would play Loki as many times as he's asked to play him.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean-
has no end in sight for the character if they'll keep writing parts for him.
so far that's what the same as Sam Wilson's character and Bucky's character. Like those guys have said, "I'm committed."
So basically, the timekeepers aren't what they
Probably don't even actually have timekeepers.
right. It's
So-
probably Kang. It's Kang.
I still think it's Kang. I think this is going to lead into Ant-Man Wasp still. I still firmly believe that, and I think it's going to have to do with Doctor Strange's stuff too.
I bet
I
you.
mean, that would-
I bet you, if a camera could go out in the TVA little land and look up, you'd see the quantum realm just floating around it.
I mean, that would totally make sense though, because if Doctor Strange is supposed to set off the multiverse, and we've already heard that Kang is going to be an Ant-Man, and he's supposed to be the new like
Big bad.
Thanos level villain. So that would make sense if the whole thing with people kept saying WandaVision's supposed to directly relate to Doctor Strange on kicking off the multiverse. It would make sense for Loki to directly relate to Ant-Man to kick off the big villain.
Yeah. No, and the fact that Ravonna Renslayer's in it, she was always a big Kang minion. You know, all
and-
signs point to him, but
So-
that could just be the red herring
Yeah.
that they're trying to point us to him.
It's Mephisto.
Well, and I think she might know the lies of the TVA.
She may. and
Is
we're
she,
gonna find that out,
she
I
the
think.
one that was Owen Wilson's boss?
Yes.
She knows. She
Well,
absolutely knows the
How
answers.
she got promoted to a judge after letting this high profile variant get away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they spent all the resources to make sure that one variant gets
Yeah, they
captured.
they didn't correlate that very well, did they?
And it's just the way that they I don't know, it's just the writing is very good on this. The way that Loki, I mean, and I do agree. I saw something online that they said the one thing that was missing about episode 3 was the interaction between Loki and Mobius. And I can agree, because those two interaction is great. That's why I can't imagine him being dead. The way it just seemed like we were cheated if that's truly he's gone.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not ready for him to be gone.
No, he's on.
He's just up in heaven, like, wow.
Well, as far as they know,
Jetski's great.
because they're all variants, they have no idea what's actually going on. When they prune somebody, they probably think that they are dead when they could be transported somewhere else.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, maybe
they
that's
have no clue.
maybe that's why the lady said go ahead, because she knows that she would be going.
They're just going to get sent somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, maybe this is where they're being sent to be reprogrammed to be agents, you know?
Right.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but they were really. She was really after pruning the She-Loki.
Yeah, but she
So-
also had after they pruned Mobius, you could see that she had a hard time with that too. So I mean, it's probably not a very maybe a survivalist kind of place where you go, or it's you
Right.
know, when all the Lokis when he asked if this was hell, and the other Lokis were like, no.
And then you had the old Loki
you
with
would
like
get
the
up or you'll
classic
die.
Loki look.
So that actor's Richard E. Grant. He was the big baddie in The Last Jedi, the big bad Imperial guy that kills Hux. He's just a British actor that's been in a lot of stuff.
But they also had another Avenger, or Young Avenger, right there. You had young Kid
Young
Loki.
Loki, Kid Loki,
Yeah.
and then Alligator Loki with the little hat on.
Yeah,
It was
so-
the greatest thing, which is perfect because Alligator Loki fight Throg,
I don't know.
Thor.
That
the
other,
Thor frog.
yeah.
Yes,
that other Loki, though, had his timeline's version of Mjolnir.
Yeah, he had a hammer, a very bright hammer.
it looked like it had like a piston.
It was
Handle.
a wrench handle welded to a railroad track, like a
yeah.
chunk of the railroad line. But I think that's his.
like a John Henry Mjolnir.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I did like seeing the classic costume. We don't get. I mean,
You saw it in WandaVision.
Yeah.
yeah, WandaVision you
We
get to
saw
see it a
those,
little bit.
You know, with the Halloween. So it was a good episode. I liked it a lot. I mean, there was a lot that happened in there.
Yeah, if it's not Kang by the end of this, I'm gonna flip a table.
It's gonna be Mephisto.
It's totally gonna be.
That's going to be really funny. It's like Electro. He somehow just masterminded all of this.
It's
Or-
blue electro.
the other thing I've seen is Molecule Man, because Molecule Man can get to that reality bending kind of manipulation thing. So
David Holler.
It's Wanda.
I thought you were going to say
Wanda's doing it all.
Hasselhoff.
It's David Hasselhoff
from the Guardians.
the TVA is all inside this suburban town in New Jersey. It's been Wanda the whole
It's all
time.
Knight Rider.
Yep.
So it's really just I do like how the Marvel has kind of taken some notes from Umbrella Academy when it comes to the way the TVA works. I think it's very similar. Old school technology.
Oh, that kind of classic.
Everything's analog.
retro. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was something else that did that. I was trying to remember that, like that harkened back, that kind of retro future time travel agency. But maybe I was thinking about Umbrella Academy and I couldn't place it. But no, that's totally it. So yeah, Loki's great. 2 more episodes left. This went by quick.
So when does the next one start?
The next series.
Yeah.
So the next series we're getting is
This lazy gamer. It doesn't show the comment up there, but he said it's arcade.
I don't think
Oh,
it's
that-
I don't
we're in
think it's
Murder World?
arcade.
Yeah.
He's too busy doing Avengers Arena.
Oh, that's weird. It's not
They
updated.
need to do Avengers Arena.
If
as
they're
a
going to
show.
bring arcade into the game or into the show, I mean, it's going to have to be like a Saw kind of scenario. A little bit more than this because it's all about survival. And I mean,
The next TV show should be Miss Marvel.
Yeah, that's
and then Hawkeye's after that.
but Miss Marvel's what, in the fall?
It's like August, September.
Okay.
I don't think it actually has a release date yet.
Because typically
Both of them just say fall.
they've kind of announced everything where we kind of knew everything was going, but like after Loki, there's nothing.
Miss Marvel and Hawkeye are both this year, and then you have and then you have What If in August. That's like the next big.
I think the
Yeah.
What Ifs is the next one we know, like, have a date for.
one. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm kind of wondering at this point if they may take kind of like a Star Wars thing and say that's canon because the What Ifs are going to be basically multiverse mishaps, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
So they're all going to be anthology series, but like, what if it's taking place in all these places that she blew up,
Okay.
and now she becomes Captain America, or this and that, and they're all just kind of what if stories.
So here's what we have for 2021, and there's no specific dates on anything. What If is just August.
Yeah,
Ms. Marvel and Hawkeye are just late 2021. They don't have dates. So Hawkeye could happen first.
yeah.
They're not listing it first, but
Because I feel like Hawkeye's been shooting longer than Miss Marvel. I feel like they shot Hawkeye forever ago.
Yeah, they're both done.
they're both in post production right now.
Yeah.
They're both done with principal, but
Because you would think Hawkeye would not need near the graphics that Miss Marvel. Because I mean, her whole thing is she like does
She's-
the whole Fantastic Four Reed
Yeah, but-
Richards thing.
so
Mr.
graphics
Fantastic.
is all done in post, so it would require less shooting time. Whereas Hawkeye, you could do more with actual stunts.
Yeah. All I know is we better get Pizza Dog.
and
I
then
think there is they
Like
do have
whole,
the dog. I
like
just
the
don't know
whole
if it's Pizza
episode.
Dog.
Like the whole episode.
It's just about the dog.
Wait, did you ever read that one? The whole thing about Pizza Dog was they had a whole issue from his point of view.
Was that the one that came out? Was that the series that came out in Marvel Now?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what this is
yeah,
based.
I read
That's
those.
what this is based on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is Fraction's run.
yeah. So films, we've got Black Widow next week, Shang-Chi September 3rd, Eternals November 5th, Spider-Man December 17th.
See, I feel like Shang-Chi was August. I wonder if they got pushed.
I feel like it was August too. So.
Yeah, I think that's been pushed recently.
I don't know. Anything's possible anymore.
It was. It was. We're just gonna say it was.
Yeah.
So all I know is I saw that last trailer of Shang-Chi. Super excited for Shang-Chi now.
Like,
I've been super excited.
I like how they depicted the rings. Like,
that was cool.
it's not what you would expect of.
And now we have Marvel's version of Mortal Kombat.
Martles.
Because we know we saw Razor Fist, we saw Abomination, we saw Wong.
Well, yeah, he's back in it.
Wong and Abomination fighting.
Of course, Shang-Chi. We saw Shang-Chi's sister, who was just introduced in Shang-Chi #1 here recently.
Yeah.
So we'll see what that is. Because a lot of the powers, I guess, for these people have to be passed down from father to
Which,
son or something like that. Somebody was saying something.
comic-wise, Shang-Chi was never the son of the Mandarin, but
he was the son of the leader of the 5 weapons criminal
Okay.
organization. I mean,
Probably
he's
just put
a
them-
big underground,
Putting it
like
together.
Chinese gangster.
Which is why she's in the comics. That's why she came back to get him.
yeah.
Yeah,
take him back
because
to
he inherits the family business.
Yeah.
and he's trying to turn it around and make it legit.
Yeah. So do we think the underwater sea creature is Fin Fang Foom?
It
That'd
is.
be
I mean,
pretty
what
cool.
else did it look? It looked just. I mean, it looked
It
like
didn't
him.
look just like
It's
him.
Fin Fang Foom. I mean,
It's probably Film.
yeah, that book's already going up in value. Been kind of watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you could turn a mow the grass in one of the movies and be like a character's being born, like Groot Evolution 3 and
It's Pokemon.
So
So
yeah.
say about next week is General Ross is in it. We already know that he's in the previews.
I didn't know that.
He's in the previews.
He's in the previews? I didn't see
you
that.
not watch trailers, man?
I don't remember. I like.
I watched the trailer when it came
And he's
out.
I was about to say.
He's also been in the Marvel Cinematic
Yes.
Universe already.
Is he the Red Hulk though?
I can't say anything because of Brandon.
Just double wink at me.
But you not saying anything is saying something.
Open your eyes.
Nope. So
If it doesn't happen, my article lied to me.
more spoilers. We're going to spoil the crap out of Hellfire Gala, but covers have pretty much done that.
Well, I mean, the big thing is you've had a couple weeks to know that. I mean, the big thing about the gala is they announced the new X-Men team, which we already knew about before the gala ever began.
Yeah, because they made
Well,
us
and
vote
so-
for the last number.
They made us vote for Polaris. Polaris.
And that when they actually announced that was several issues. So I mean, that was several weeks ago.
Yeah, we knew back in April who the new team was.
Yeah.
They terraformed Mars to be the new homeworld of the mutants.
Of the Araco mutants.
Yeah.
They just kind of have a station there, but it's
That
Storm,
station's like,
but Storm runs it.
yeah, she's like Queen of Mars.
Yeah, basically. She's like High Marshal or something, right?
She
Like-
called herself the High Regent.
High Regent, yeah.
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 But yeah, so that one station is like it's like United Nations for the Sol system is what it is. It's
Right.
neutral territory.
And
Soul is
Krakoa
what they
just
call a
said,
day on Mars.
Earth, you're just no, because you're too tribal.
In case you were wondering, Soul
See,
is what they call a day on Mars. It's one soul instead of one day.
I know. I watched
Now I want to know if Mars is going to eventually be a member of the X-Men, kind of like Mogo and Green Lantern, where the planet's sentient and it's just going to start moving around the solar system.
Yeah, but they already have Krakoa.
So did Martian the Manhunter show up?
Krakoa's just an island.
It's a mutant.
But he's a mutant. He's a mutant island.
I didn't jump
But
publishers.
it's not a planet. We're talking about intergalactic conflicts now.
Are we talking about but Krakoa made it with another island, didn't it?
Yeah, he did.
They
Like,
were one island.
They
and
touched
split.
tips.
They were Oraka.
Is that still called mitosis?
They were Oraco or Oraka. They split to Araco and Krakoa.
So
they got
when they came
divorced?
back together, they went Maraca?
they're not back together.
They weren't shaking?
They're not back together. Like
Dang it.
Araco came up out of the ocean and was like rushing at
They
Krakoa.
It was like, hey, you want to make a volcano?
They basically
You
went
wanna
from
make
not
me a-
speaking.
And then they just teleported Araco to Mars.
I didn't go that far. Hopefully he got overheard. Spoken up good. Hopefully nobody else hears him either.
they went from not talking at all to sharing custody of the kids.
Yeah.
And then there was
So-
a love triangle. Wait, that was the actual X-Men.
That's still not going back to the X of Swords thing where Cypher's whole challenge was marrying the one chick. I was like, really? That's okay.
I'm surprised they're still keeping that going.
Why not? I mean, that was part of the challenge, and Cypher fell
I
in
mean,
love real fast. So.
It was just that sort of stuff doesn't typically last very long in the comics.
It's been a
They
year.
gotta-
It's not even been a year. I mean,
Yeah.
Gambit and Rogue are still married after like 2.5 years.
So overall, reading the gala event, did you feel like that was an event? Because they say, what do I understand, they're going to try to do this kind of thing every year.
Mm-hmm. It was interesting. I mean, it was definitely not a typical crossover event. Normally, a crossover event's this
like
cataclysmic
most-
battle thing, and this was a party, and it's definitely a new way of doing a
Crossovers.
big crossover
Like
event.
you could read each individual book on its own and not like
I think Way of X you had to read after you watched a bunch of them because I tried reading Way of X, the Nightcrawler drunk one, and like the beginning of it made no sense.
No, this is where
because
Nightcrawler finds out about
Onslaught,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's another spoil thing is
now X Force.
Kind of, because they've already shown us
And
solicits
Way of
for
X.
Onslaught.
You do have to read X Force and Wolverine together. They go together.
yeah.
And there was another pair that directly related to each other.
Sword and Planet of the X are going to go back to back.
Yeah, Sword and Planet-sized X-Men
Planet-sized X-Men,
kind of
sorry,
tied
yeah.
together.
where one dude gave birth to a station.
Yeah,
with
Brian.
Jamie.
Yeah.
Jamie Braddock just kind of like pooped a space station.
Yeah, no, he didn't. He didn't poop it.
It just wrecked it.
It was C-sectioned from his body.
It aliened out of his stomach. Yeah, that was weird.
And he gets up like he's like, yeah, this is how you party.
So Magneto puts all of this like let's make Mars.
Yeah.
Does all these amazing things, and like then what happens to Scarlet Witch happens, and like now he's just like enemy number one.
Yeah, see, I don't get where they're gonna get that conclusion.
Well, we do. Yeah, all you see at this point is she's dead.
Where's Magneto?
Yeah, well, Wolverine probably smelled him. That was probably so. She was dead. He was gone because
Yeah, but they had just hugged.
Yeah,
and that's his first hunch. He smells Magneto. Where is he? That's
because
where
the
it
whole
leads.
thing is that everybody keeps saying that Wanda's a pretender. She's not a real mutant. She's been pretending to be a mutant, which means one, she can't be resurrected.
Well, we talked about this the other day, though. Kind of, what if this is their way of retconning her back into be a mutant? Is she can come back to life, and she actually is a mutant.
I
She's
can
not
see
the
that.
pretender.
I mean, they're gonna have to do
Because if they
she's
want her
gonna
to be a mutant in the MCU,
My guess is
gotta
she's
be
going to be
one of
back
the
by the
comics.
end of the year anyway because of the movies.
By letter of the law, though, they could technically resurrect anybody they want.
And she has
All-
the
yeah.
power. She could just say, "I'm a mutant."
Yeah, all he's got to do is back up their brain, and they can resurrect anybody they want. They only back up mutants.
So she would come back, but she would basically just be nothing. She'd just start from zero.
Well, if they didn't do a backup, it'd be like when Rockslide came back. And
Yeah.
Rockslide came back as weirdo, and he still is. They haven't fixed him yet.
That, yeah.
Yeah, but you can't fix him. Otherwise, you just took dying on the other world away. The importance. I mean,
Yeah.
death has to matter somehow.
well, we know that.
It does to everyone that's not a superhero.
We've also already seen that solicits are showing us that there's a book coming out, Death of Doctor Strange. So I'm wondering if he's going to have some part to play in
Yeah,
in
'cause
her stuff eventually as well. Maybe he's going to the other side to get her back. Something, right?
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see kind of where that's going to go with him and her, because right now they're all Strange Academy.
Right.
Which
Well,
is
they
an
keep
ongoing
talking
book.
about, is it going to be magic or is it going to be Scarlet Witch? Who's taking over for Doctor Strange? At one point, it was Voodoo. Voodoo had taken over for Doctor Strange as well. So I don't know about the whole the new solicits. I mean, the big thing is Art Germ releases cover today. Mystique, I mean, from House and Powers of X is supposed to kind of be the catalyst for the downfall of mutants.
Right.
And then in issue 20 of X-Men,
Because they
she
still
failed on
they
it.
still won't resurrect Destiny, right? Is that
No, they won't. Then there's been a rumor the reason why they won't resurrect Destiny is because Destiny one time lit Moira on fire for one of her deaths. So she just has a thing built in. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
Kind of a vendetta.
Well, there's a thing against precogs. Yeah.
Yeah, and Moira's coming back, right? That's going to be Hickman's new.
Moira was at the end of issue 20, sitting there. So that's what this whole Inferno thing is.
Yeah, that's
so
Inferno. Yeah.
After 2 years, 2 months, we're finally going back and maybe getting a little bit more of her story that just kind of got left behind.
2 years,
Which was
2
like
months.
one of the most interesting
So
plot
House-
lines.
House and Powers came
of
out in
X-
the summer.
Well, it came out. Well, Inferno starts in September,
Oh, okay.
and House and Powers both started in July.
Yeah, I think you're talking
So-
about right now. I'm like, when?
Yeah, 2 years, 2 months. We'll finally start getting some information on Moira, because it has been. It's like all this amazing story happens, and then like.
Well, we should have gotten a lot faster though, right? Like, didn't they make Hickman slow the roll?
Yeah, they made him slow down a little bit. So, but I mean, it's been 2 years.
Yeah. So good setup for the next
I did think
era.
the death was super anticlimactic, though.
Yeah,
I was
'cause it
as
just-
much as they hyped a big death, I was expecting.
Yeah,
more.
I'm like reading through X Factor, and I'm like, okay,
'Cause
all right,
if
none
they
of this is
wouldn't-
interesting to me. Where
And
does
then
she
there was
die?
then there was like a bunch of ad pages between where they find her body,
Yeah.
and I almost just like quit reading, and I was like, okay, it's over.
Not if
I
you
just
read
happened-
it digitally.
And then I kept flipping. I was like, oh, there's another page.
Yeah.
Well,
Like the
so
worst placement ever.
If they wouldn't have hyped up that, there's a big death, then you could have easily said, she's unconscious.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't have known she was
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you started seeing Marvel pushing all the.
Now you did
death
see the strangle
solicits and stuff
finger, her bruising around her neck. You could see
I
that.
didn't notice. I didn't look.
Like,
that
look at it
closely.
real quick. You can actually see bruising around her neck from where she was strangled.
Wow, you're more.
You might have gone one page too far already.
You're.
See her neck?
See, I missed that page. I didn't even see that page.
Her neck's covered up with a scarf.
No, hold on. Let me see it.
Must be the other page.
Yeah, that's where he says, get Magneto.
Yeah.
But, like, you have page, you have pages.
Yeah, I didn't see
Yeah.
any of that. That's the last page I saw.
See right there? Look at her neck.
They did an after
yeah,
credits
you-
on
yeah,
you
you
in the
did
book.
there.
That splash page is going to be the second print, which is already on sale.
So did that page make it into Spawn as well?
Let me see it.
So what happened? So did the whole book make it inside of Spawn? Is that what I'm saying?
What is happening?
There were issues of the new Spawn that had X Factor 10 printed inside of it upside down.
Really?
No way.
Yes.
I haven't seen this at all.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anybody talk
I'd
about
have-
this.
Is it Spawn 319, the one that just came out this week?
Something. Hold on. Let's see here.
Hold on.
It would have to be. There's
Y'all,
just-
y'all carry on. I'm going to go grab an issue of Spawn real quick. Hold on.
Professor X looks all.
The rarest copy of X Factor 10 is inside of Spawn 319. Yeah, if you look at it, if you go right inside the cover page, you can see the digital code page.
Is it just one page, not a full book?
I mean, if it's the
supposedly-
digital code page, that's a full book.
Hey, now we know where Todd McFarlane's getting his stuff printed.
Supposedly this one guy is the only one with it, so that book's probably going to be worth.
He doesn't know he's the only one.
Well,
I mean,
that's come forward as at the time that Bleeding Cool reported this.
I'm sure there's going to be quite a few more. I mean, they don't just.
Yeah.
Oh crap, we got one. Oops. Because if they knew there was only one, they wouldn't have got sent out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now, but these Gala covers, this X Factor and of course the other X Factor by Crease, those are going pretty quick on the website right now.
I actually like the Gala cover better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a great cover for Miguel. So, and it's Polaris. The bright green cover is amazing.
Yeah. Which is so what they're saying is, if nothing else, this confirms that Image Comics Spawn uses the same printers as Marvel Comics, even though Image Comics used thicker paper and cover stock. So that means it wasn't just the sorter collator that did it. Like they printed it. They printed one of the two.
Somebody,
the wrong paper.
Somebody got digital stuff wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's a weird mess
but
up.
everything comes from the same distributor. I could have guessed that they use the same printer also.
DC does use a different printer. They use a printer up in Canada.
But they also use a different distributor now also.
Well, they always have. Yeah.
This was the
At least since we've been doing business.
supposedly, Darren. It was just this one copy.
But Spawn did just.
And it's this.
Todd
cover.
McFarlane did come out just now saying every one of his comics will still stay at $3 an issue, and all will have card stock now.
Lies. Spawn Universe was $5.
Well, I'm talking about his normal ongoing at $2.99. It'll still be $2.99, and it will have card stock for all variants now.
Yeah, you would have noticed by now. It was inside. It was right inside the cover.
Well, apparently we didn't get that cool issue.
Well, we don't know. We order a lot of Spawn. Like we have hundreds and hundreds to look through. Good luck, staff.
No more shipping Spawn until we find them all.
So yeah, but no, I thought it was fun. I need to get caught up. I didn't read any of the lead up to Hellfire Gala. I pretty much in between Ten of Swords and Hellfire Gala. I just
stayed
really
up
haven't.
with the main X-Men book. I've read all the others.
Yeah.
But
I've popped in and out when I like the
You told
X-Men.
Ben you've read every Wolverine. Ben Percy, Tanner lied to you.
I never said that.
X-Men, like I read 20 because they said 20 was so important to the storyline because of the whole Mystique trying to destroy the new Sentinel program. That also reintroduces Mora to the storyline. I read through 8, and then honestly, there was times I just got bored with the new X-Men.
Yeah.
I will say that I'll pick up Wolverine going forth because Solomon's supposed to come back.
Yeah,
he
his-
was really cool. in
His
the
next
S.W.O.R.D.
arc is like really where they're going to lay into his character, from what I understand. So
And Percy's on Wolverine and X-Force for a long time.
Yeah.
So
I like Hellions. I like the writing on Hellions. I think I like Hellions for the same reason I like Cable and X-Force. Like
it's fun.
yes, the banter between the team. I think the writing between them.
I mean, anytime
Just
you
fits.
clone yourself and then have a discussion on who gets the cape, you win.
Yeah.
I mean, for real, what are you guys is going to win? And it's so you.
it just makes me think of
so that was
freaking
that was a
Invincible.
question. That was a question I had. So is this at the end of Hellions? Was that a different Sinister? There was like a sinister that had like a scar across his forehead.
Let's hold on. Let's go back and let's have some honest moments in life. So I was told, make sure, because I was pretty clear. I didn't think I had time to read them all, and so I was told, read where they make Mars, and read X Factor.
Sorry, I won't look at you. For those that read,
Don't look at me either.
fine, whatever.
I've read a lot of other stuff, but I didn't have a chance to read all those.
I read it.
We were told yesterday to read all of Gala for today. And I straight up said,
I told you on Monday.
You said to read it. You did not say, hey, we're going to talk about this Thursday. There was this reading. I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, I can probably read that whenever.
Gotta talk about it while it's still relevant.
Oh, so like,
it would have been relevant next week when Jerry Dugan's here.
So the other thing is why is Cable 11 listed in the reading order in the
Or
back
why
of the book?
is or the other book, Children of the Atom.
Yeah.
That's in the reading order too, and I'm all like, well,
Cable is just, from what I understand, Cable didn't go to the party at all.
Right. So is that those listings on the back? I guess that just actually has nothing to do with the event. It's just here are the X books for this.
I do know Gimmick was in X Factor. Like, and it even said like previous read Children of the Atom 4 to know more about her story.
Yeah.
When I sent out the text with the reading order, I looked up the event on Marvel, and it had Children of the Atom and Cable in the event.
Now, is Children of the Atom like just a background for that character? It doesn't really help you as far as the story.
I really think I think we were right when we first talked about Children of the Atom, like back in March. I think Gimmick was the one that gave everybody else their powers through like some kind of technological thing that she created, and she's the only mutant.
Oh yeah,
she can imbue powers. That's her. She's like a reverse. She's like a reverse Rogue or Hope.
Well, if you look at it, all their powers are technology based, and I think she just I mean, that's why her name is Gimmick.
She's Forge.
She's basically Forge. And I think that she just created everybody powers so she could have friends.
This is for the Atom team itself.
I think so. I have to go back and read it. I'm just waiting for it to complete itself.
I haven't read anything since issue 1.
And in my opinion is she's still the only mutant, and that's why only she could probably get into Krakoa, and the rest of them can't.
Interesting.
Which for the Gala, anyone could get. They open the portals.
Yeah,
for
like that's why Scarlet
Captain
Witch
America
pops out the sword.
That's one thing I didn't understand. At the end of Marauders, which was the first Gala book,
Yeah.
All the humans, they're just leaving the party just pissed. Because... And you don't know why.
Well, because the mutants just decided Mars is ours.
Thing,
yeah.
but
Are they going to have a Captain Mars?
But that's what I don't understand is
well, apparently
humans
they
do
apparently
that
they
stuff
just
all the time.
Well, and mutants are humans,
right? Like they're so mad that they colonize Mars. Okay, well you would have had you had the technology to.
No, that's what Magneto said. We just beat him to it.
Yeah.
And I mean, if it wasn't Mars, it would have been another planet.
Sorry, we've got an island that just lets us do things.
Yeah. Well,
and the thing about them leaving and going to Mars, shouldn't they be happy? They're leaving. Like,
Yeah.
they're
not
getting rid.
Krakoa's not moving.
I know.
Krakoa
But like
stays.
the majority of the.
But I think with the way that everything is in the Marvel Universe, they did have the technology to do it all already. I mean, you think about everything else that they've done,
Reed
right?
Richards could have done it.
Yeah.
They go to other places in the universe.
I mean, if Magneto could figure it out, Reed Richards for sure could have got it figured out. With
Wow,
some,
are you calling? I think you just called Magneto stupid.
Dr. Manhattan figured it out in the 80s. Oh, wait. Hold on. Wrong continuity. But there's a Dr. Manhattan in Marvel.
But he saw Martian Manhunter, so it was okay.
Yeah.
I just want my Spawn book to have X Factor in it.
It doesn't. Darren.
So we're like...
I was really surprised that was black and white. I thought they were going to color it.
We're already 43 minutes in, and we haven't actually got to our main topic.
The costumes.
So tailing off of Hellfire Gala, which is all about fashion and alternate costumes, which is...
And really what's bringing this next topic. My words are
Tommy!
terrible.
Tommy!
My words are terrible.
Is that like
today.
Tommy?
So since the Gala stuff has been happening, I've seen at least 3 people in the last week alone who have actually cosplayed our Gala covers.
Yeah.
2 of them have been the Rogue, and 1 has been the Storm cover, and they've been magnificent. And so we had a topic a few weeks ago, like who has the most iconic X-Men suit. And it got me thinking when I started seeing this stuff pop across Twitter and Instagram. What costumes do people see that inspire them to want to cosplay them at shows? Like,
I see Psylocke.
we see Psylocke a lot.
Rogue.
But
90s a lot.
Going further than that, like
the
not
jacket.
just what we always see, but like think of some of the characters that the MCU has created, like For those that are more uncomfortable with their body, Agent Carter. A lot of Agent Carter's shows now.
Fat Thor.
And then you have Fat Thor. So I finally have identity as a cosplayer.
And I've seen one or two that actually did the bodysuit.
Yeah.
But most of the point in time, it's just
It's just a Fat Thor.
it's that comic nerd like, yes, finally.
But I mean, think about like costumes, whether it be movies or comics. Like when you go to a convention, which you've only been to like one, but
Wow, judgment.
and your whole thing was about Andrew McCarthy the whole time we were there. Why are you here?
I'll never know. I'll never get a chance to ask.
Is he dead?
No,
Okay.
I'll just never get a chance
Wow.
because I'll probably never go to a con with him
So
again.
we're fixing to start convention season again. And I know that for me, like a lot of costumes that we see, obviously we see Wife Beater Wolverine,
Yeah.
Psylocke, Rogue. We'll see some Cyclops. I've seen
Spider. Well,
lots of Spider-Mans.
Yeah.
Overall, I
guess
would
X-Men
say
as well.
your main source of cosplay is either going to be an anime or Marvel characters. You do see DC and stuff.
You
too.
see Power
Harley
Rangers.
Quinn.
Batman.
Lots of Harleys. And that brings up another question for me when it comes to cosplayers.
Wonder Woman.
Are those little bodysuits that you can just buy on the internet really cosplay? Because there's no really creativity to that. You just bought a suit off the internet and
Now,
you fit in it.
I will say that a lot of those suits like that, there are some that they make them for you, but most of those you actually just buy a template. You still have to make it.
Okay, well that's different. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're actually having to do something for that, that's one thing. But
Yeah.
if you're just buying something on Amazon, like that's just
Difference between Halloween costume.
Yeah,
and
you're in a
cosplay.
Halloween costume. You're not cosplaying. Like those people that do like the guy who did the like 2-scale Hulkbuster.
Yeah.
Or the guy that does like a Space Marine, where he's like,
Yeah, Space Marine. I
like,
mean,
dang,
there's
dude.
so many amazing costumes out there that I mean, people have to spend like a year just to make them. So
Well,
versus
for a lot of those people, that's basically their full time job.
Yeah.
They build
Yeah.
the costumes and they post pictures on the internet and make
They
money.
they charge for pictures and charge for autographs. So yeah. So as far as iconic X-Men, so y'all had the video.
he's leaving your conversation behind. He's getting back into where he wants to talk about.
I thought this is what we were talking about.
go ahead. Go ahead. We'll see.
Go on with what you were talking about.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
He was trying to say what's best, what would influence you to cosplay at a
Yeah,
show.
what would
And
influence-
you're going back
I
to
would
the
not
video.
cosplay. I don't cosplay, and I will not because I would look like an idiot.
I think you'd be a great Fat Thor.
Shut up.
If you grew your hair out longer, you could start doing some Loki.
Yeah, you could do. You could
Because
pull
then
off.
you could do that little hair flip.
You could totally. If you dyed your hair blonde, you could totally pull off middle-aged Malfoy.
Thanks.
And then have you seen that meme where it's that kid and he's doing that like,
I am a whole lot of nerd, but dressing up is like the line for me.
I can't do it either. Like, and I think a lot of it goes back to the fact that like we weren't even allowed to do anything for Halloween.
Yeah, we didn't dress up for Halloween,
So
so
like my kids are like, "What are you going to be for? Like, what do you want to dress up for Halloween with
Yeah.
us, Dad?" And I'm like, "I'll wear a T-shirt that says something." But I can't do it.
I remember doing Halloween costumes and just being annoyed by them.
Yeah,
So I actually think it would be fun to dress up, and I actually did once. When we had the Table's Edge, we set up at Amicon, and we dressed up as old military guys that would have run around with Captain America. That was
you and
like
Brian?
Alan
me and
Commandos?
Brian. Yeah.
I've done Deadpool and I did some
do remember
steampunk
that.
stuff, but the one time I did steampunk like at a show, I was so tired of being in costume by the end of the day that I was
I would
pretty
think
much done after that.
if you're not a people person and you don't want people talking to you or touching you or anything like that, you don't go to a show dressed
and
up.
like, well, you almost have to have a repair kit because your stuff's breaking all day and you're having to
Yeah.
carry it around. You're walking everywhere. It's a
Then you have to
million
go to
degrees.
the bathroom.
Yeah,
Just the bathroom alone.
yeah, sounds terrible.
Like-
I'm wearing my
And I
cargo
work,
shorts and
I
tennis
work a
shoes.
booth, so if I have anything poking out of my body, it's going to knock stuff off.
I remember the first year we went to Dallas, there was that girl right next to us that was like on stilts, the little deer costume she was wearing. And I'm like, man, could you imagine being on stilts all day?
Yeah, the whole day.
I mean, that's just this is good for them. Good dedication. My sister-in-law, she does cosplay. Her and her wife both do it. I mean, it's just good for them. But that is not something I can't do it.
Nope. And plus, I'm fat, so
Fat Thor. Middle-aged Malfoy.
Be like chubby Thor. I don't know if you call him fat
Yeah,
Thor.
I would be fat Thor.
Husky Thor.
You would be in between.
I'd be pregnant Thor. I'd be Jamie Braddock.
It's a food baby.
So
Hold on, cosplay idea. I'm Jamie Braddock birthing the Sword Station.
So here's the progression. There's Thor. Thor lost to Thanos. 6 months later.
It's the progression. Yeah. Did he get taller?
Yeah, I guess so.
Or he shrunk after he killed
He
Thor?
slouches.
I'll just follow Thor around everywhere, then just like lay down the back. This is Doug.
This is Doug. Cool. This is my buddy mate.
That's also an awesome cosplay when speaking not that, but like there was two people that run around as the Waynes, and every time they see a Batman, they just lay down dead in front of them.
No, was it Batman or was it Joker?
It was Batman.
Yeah, it was
They
Batman.
would lay there as their dead parents.
It's just
And
terrible.
I've also seen one with Spider-Man where Uncle Ben lays dead.
Yeah, that's a lot of laying down. That show.
They're really
You
good
see
at
Batman,
burpees.
but Spider-Man's good, man. There's a whole lot of Spider-Man.
There's always Spider-Mans.
Spidermans.
Spidermans. Yep, Spidermans and
Spidermans.
Deadpool.
So we're excited to see costumes. We really want to get pictures and videos, and make sure if you're watching this and you do cosplay, tag us. Let us see what you're going to go as the next show, and make sure to come by and say hi because cosplay are a huge part of events, and I think they're fun, and I think it gets people that actually have a creativity in designing clothes, an ability to show off what they can do, and I think it's really cool. So.
So now we can go to the other topic of iconic suits.
Iconic costumes. So I had said the 90s Cyclops. I agreed with Tanner off the YouTube video, and I reneged on that. It's Cyclops from Age of Apocalypse.
So, but I agree that that's probably his best look, but it's not his most iconic.
It's not the most iconic, but I think it's my favorite. Followed by, I totally forgot, the 90s Archangel, the blue and magenta.
Yeah, the 90s Archangel's amazing.
Yeah.
And they've messed with that character so much along the way. I mean, he went from, Angel to Archangel to, back to Angel to having feathers again to not having feathers again
To death again.
to death to just being some stupid blonde guy.
Now he has energy wings, doesn't he?
Well, no,
That was the young version. That was the one from the past.
he got that from the.
I thought they
Black
both,
Vortex.
I thought they both stuck around, like they're both still around.
No,
No.
all the all new X-Men went back
Yeah, they all went back home.
and somehow just like
But I thought
lost all their powers. Or something.
I also thought Cyclops was still around too. I thought a couple of them stayed for some reason.
TVA finally caught up to him.
right.
No, so but we did see in Hellfire Gala he was actually wearing the purple and magenta costume again.
Yeah, but he's got feathers.
But Mastermind was hiding it, like nobody saw it. Mastermind was
So
keeping.
he has feathers again?
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess I've
Yeah,
seen
he
that.
got out of the
he
shower.
had feather when he was just Warren Worthington. He has feathers. When he becomes Archangel, he's back to where he can go.
Transform.
He can go back and forth again.
I think it was so much cooler of a storyline. Yeah. When he was just had to deal with the fact that he was now blue, blonde, and had metal wings.
Yeah.
I think that was such a much a better storyline.
So I mean, maybe they just got tired of having everybody be blue.
Oh, but blue's okay.
Blue is a very common skin color in the mutant universe.
Yeah.
I don't have a
Other
problem.
Then they all move to Vegas and they start a show.
That'd be a pretty
Teleporting.
show.
The blue mutant group.
Yeah.
They would really stink in there though after Nightcrawler got going.
Yeah.
All the bamfing.
And all the bamfing.
Somebody light a match.
It's like, wow,
keeps
those
lighting matches.
fireworks are intense.
Yep. All right, so
It's like Demon Death World in here.
I still think Gambit or Rogue probably for me have the most iconic costumes when it comes to X-Men because you just know when you have
Yeah.
that
See-
perm off of Rogue with the jacket and the
I still think that's just your favorite. Because when you say iconic, you got to.
Hey, go check our Instagram.
When you say iconic, you have to think someone who's not into comics.
Yeah, and people recognize Rogue all the time.
Yeah.
I would give you Rogue. I wouldn't give you Gambit, though.
Gambit's the only time he hasn't had like that costume was X Factor.
Yeah, he's pretty,
Pretty
much
much
had that costume
his
the whole
costume
time.
is-
But
Then
I,
his-
I
Yeah,
still
but
agree
go-
with him.
Go ask
A random
go-
person wouldn't know that was Gambit.
Yeah, go ask the random person.
they've never seen
to
him.
Start naming
Okay,
X-Men.
hey,
Barely in a
Gambit.
movie.
I need you to do the whole night show thing. I need you to take a clipboard and a camera and just go poll like 30 people at Target.
He was like he was randomly in the worst X-Men movie. Nobody knows who he is.
I still think for anybody our generation, our age, they're going to know who he is because of the cartoon.
Yeah.
If
And
they're
it's
nerd
gonna
saw the cartoon,
no,
remember
like
the cartoon.
everybody saw the cartoon.
At least the first season.
What
'cause
else
Pizza
did-
Hut gave it away.
What
would still say-
else did you have to do
I
on a
would still
Saturday
say,
morning at our age?
If they remember the cartoon, they're going to remember Cyclops or Wolverine.
Wolverine will probably go down as the most iconic X-Men character because it's Wolverine.
Yep. Easy.
But his costume is awful.
Because Gambit also wasn't in all the cartoons.
He was in probably majority.
Majority.
But I don't think Wolverine was in all of them.
But I mean, everything's been about Wolverine. It's Wolverine and his X-Men forever.
Right, and we're talking iconic.
I mean, they literally named one of the iterations of cartoons Wolverine and the X-Men.
Stupid.
Well, he had a comic book too. Is Wolverine.
Wolverine and the X-Men, where he was a teacher, professor, something. I don't know.
Bub.
But
Yeah.
Bub and the X-Men.
Bubbles. And
they even had a story Spider-Man and the X-Men. I'm like, why?
I was speaking of bubbles. I was real surprised when Deadpool showed up.
I was
like,
not.
this
There-
is goofy.
No, there was no way they were going to have a mutant party and Deadpool wasn't going to try to be.
Speaking of bubbles, I saw today that they were reshooting the pilot for Powerpuff Girls.
Reshooting.
Reshooting it because they didn't get the tone right.
Isn't it supposed to get a live action or something?
It is.
Yeah.
Like the girl from Quake is playing, from Agents of S.W.O.R.D's playing one of
Okay.
them. Like that's a real step up from.
She seems
correct.
really excited about it.
I know. But I saw today that apparently they're just going to reshoot the whole pilot to try to get the tone better.
Or was the tone
I'm like,
too
it's
kiddie?
Powerpuff
Yeah.
Girls.
Well, here's the thing too. All of the girls are women,
right,
Yeah.
so I'm confused by that in the first place.
right.
Because they were all.
Well, just-
I don't know if you've ever seen an episode, but they were actual like kids,
Kids.
right?
They were
children.
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if we're doing live action, just wait till they get to do Shim,
I don't know what you just said to me.
The devil?
the devil.
Yeah.
Is that part of? Is it something in
Is
Powerpuff
he the-
Girls?
It-
I thought
it's a
he was.
villain.
Is it the monkey guy?
No,
No,
he's
he's a villain. He's a devil, but he's also like
Well, I tell you, I've literally seen none of it.
he's kind of non-binary.
Yeah.
Let's say that.
I know there's 3 characters in there in different colors.
He's not kind of. He is not. It.
And
They are
a dad,
non-binary.
professor
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, I don't even know that. I just know there's 3 girls. That's it.
I watched it a little bit. I just
Yeah.
remember Mojo Jojo.
Mojo Jojo.
I think I remember like we'd go to Gaddy's Pizza every once in a while, and it would be
Playing in the
it'd
background.
be on one of the screens, but I'd never watch it.
Yeah.
That's all I remember.
So, yeah, like, I just y'all said bubbles, and I was like, oh yeah, I saw that today.
So moving on,
Jerry Dugan's next week. Ryan Kincaid's next week. David Yost is next week.
and one more. The other
Yeah,
guy.
Stephen Wilcox.
Stephen Wilcox. Sorry, he was a late addition.
Yes.
He's coming with another
Legend.
story.
Yeah, he's coming with Legends Comics and Games out of Fresno, California.
So that's Saturday only, and are they all going to be here for the whole day, or
So
David Yost will only be here for 4 hours.
yeah, 11 to 4,
Okay.
which will be
12 to 4.
12 to 4.
Because that's 4 hours.
Yeah, you know math. Math and words are not my friends today. Jerry Dugan will be here most of the day, and then we'll do a live show with him. He's doing his BAM thing in the morning, and then
what is the BAM thing?
I can't tell you. It's a thing.
Yeah.
He's got a previous engagement that he's got to do before he can start with us.
Gotcha.
And then Ryan Kincaid will be here Friday night and Saturday, and then Stephen Wilcox will be here whenever Legend shows up, which should be Friday.
Nice.
Then we're going to be watching Black Widow on Thursday night.
Yeah, rented a whole theater just to watch Black Widow.
Have our entire staff
So,
there. Well,
the
except
pod-
for the ones that are working. Sorry.
The podcast will not be live next Thursday, but we will have a recorded one
Probably Friday
at,
morning.
at
this-
normal time.
and just so y'all know-
normalish time.
If you're familiar with psychological or therapist terms, this really, really set Brandon into his pain cycle. Like you guys have no. You should see
Yeah.
our group chat.
We had a meeting yesterday, and I was like, I never seen somebody get so mad about getting to go watch a movie for free.
Mad. I was just. I have
Especially this movie. We've waited. We've done our waiting. 12 years of it. In Azkaban.
All I know is it better be better than what we waited on with Wonder Woman 2.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about, because like,
Too much hype waiting for too long.
well, my biggest issue with Wonder Woman, where Black Widow did get COVIDed, Wonder Woman was done before COVID.
Yeah, it was done a full year before and then just got delayed
and they
because
chose to delay it.
because they didn't want to match up against Endgame.
And I'm just, well, good, yeah. Yeah, I see why.
But you could have waited till June and still released the movie.
yeah, it was not worth the wait. That's
no,
my
it was
issue.
it was a train wreck. and it
I still
wasn't.
watched it.
You should just to say you did, but meh.
I mean, I enjoyed it as a movie, but I'm also the only DC fan sitting at the table.
But see, Wonder Woman was one of my favorite movies for superhero stuff.
The first one was fantastic.
Wonder Woman and Aquaman are my two favorite DC movies.
I've overall enjoyed all the DC movies, but that one it was okay, but it's definitely on the. Very
I'm not
bottom of all
preaching
the
that it
DC
was
movies.
fantastic or anything, but I don't think it deserves as much hate as it's gotten.
It deserves it.
No, it was an okay movie. It was entertaining.
It should have never been in theaters. It should have been released to TV only.
It wasn't any worse than Fast and the Furious 9.
No, I agree. But at least Fast and the Furious 9 taught us about family.
So I guess speaking of F9, because I was asked about this earlier, so far and this was 3 days ago, it has earned 136 million domestically
Fast
How's that
9?
breaking any records?
because of pandemic wise.
Oh.
It's 249 million globally already. It
it
only had a $55 million budget. That
How?
the actors must have just said, "Yeah, we'll do it for free." Let's just blow shit up. It's cool.
They all signed 10-year 10 movie contracts back in
they all decided to get paid above the line.
It's something.
They're getting percentage.
Yeah, they probably get a percentage of the movie.
Yeah.
So like when it hits $1 billion, they each get like 30 million each.
Yeah.
So that's actually pretty good.
Wait,
that gives me
they had
hope that Black Widow is going to be doing.
It did 50.
Pretty
It had a $55 million budget.
That's what it says.
They blew up more cars than that.
I know. And I also have to
CGI.
say, this was the first one. It wasn't about cars at all. I was like, usually they always have like this scene where they're showing you all the. I didn't feel that. At
They
all.
did when they went to the mansion
They probably used
I don't
that
remember.
car that you
where Dom
did
got
you show?
arrested.
Oh yeah, yeah. The car that you actually do
The
CG
CGI
over.
car. Yeah.
You mean the white dress party?
Yeah, the white dress
Yeah,
party.
It was still just more about seeing all the chicks out there. It wasn't really about the cars.
How are we
Two
talking
different
about Fast and the Furious
conversations.
again?
Because we was talking about money, and I got into
How is
it.
this what's bookending our show right now?
He brought it up. He said that Wonder Woman 2 was at least not worse than Fast and the Furious 9.
Well, and I was
Then
actually
Chris
I was
all like-
already looking this up because I was curious, and the reason I was curious is so I could talk about Black Widow because I wanted to see
Yeah.
what Black Widow is probably going to do. So if this is doing 136 million in about a week and a half, I mean,
So
Black Widow's got to be hitting
typically all of the Marvel movies over the last few years before COVID were rolling out at between 80 and 120 million dollars for the low end movies like Ant-Man, Guardians.
I think even Doctor Strange was around them.
Yeah. The bigger movies all rolled out at 160 to 200 million.
with doing $1 billion within
Yeah,
a couple
with doing
weeks.
$1 billion. Now, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was $1 billion movie overall. Of course, every Avengers movie is $1 billion movie overall. So I would predict Black Widow is probably going to roll out. The problem is it's also being released on Disney Plus, so you can't get true analytics.
Well, you get a ticket price on that.
Well, they'll release how much money they made, like they did with Raya.
Yeah, because it's $30 a pop. So for
And-
access,
And based on we did the math, by the way, it may seem cheaper to buy it on Disney Plus, but if you think about it, they're probably still for a family of 4 to 5, which is typically what goes to the theater. By the time they cut the theater into their part, they're probably making more money on the Disney Plus release than they are
of course.
splitting that money with the movie theaters. I mean, at $50 for a family of 5 to go see a movie, or $55 at $11 a ticket, you got to figure theaters taking at least half that, right?
No,
Theaters
no.
make almost nothing off
Yeah,
tickets.
that's why their concessions are so expensive.
Okay.
Yeah, you're basically saying we'll let you watch this movie so you can sell popcorn.
Well, there's that. Well, that's the same thing with convenience stores. You sell gas so you can sell bread.
Yeah, because they make almost nothing on gasoline.
Yeah. So, I think my prediction on Black Widow is going to roll out between 80 and 100 million domestically. It will probably in the first opening weekend, because usually Marvel movies release, most likely it'll release everywhere else but here this weekend.
I saw what's his face, David Harbour at a release at something here this last weekend.
LA's already
So-
done their premiere.
Yeah,
So,
London,
yeah, Rob Liefeld was at that. So I would imagine worldwide opening weekend, if you combine all the opening weekends, Black Widow's probably going to come in at right under 200 million for opening weekend. Probably a $250 to $300 million first week is my prediction. Global. 100 million, I think, with the COVID stuff is still pretty generous. The world has opened back up for the most part, unless you live in LA. I'm sorry.
They just were like,
Back to
remember all
mask.
that stuff we said? Yeah, just kidding. You're trying to kick me out as governor? I'll do what I want.
Yeah. So I think that it could very possibly hit 100 million.
I think it will.
And here's why. This is the key factor in why Black Widow is going to hit $100 million. Because they're family.
Because they're family.
And on that note, we've got nothing left to say.
But they are. They keep saying, I'm glad the family's all back together
You know how
at
you
the
beat the
table.
Taskmaster? You got family.
You got
You got
family.
family.
Doesn't matter. You got family. Well, on that note, this family is going to sign off. Thank you so much for joining us. Like I said, we'll post an episode next week. We won't be live at this time next week, but we will have our Black Widow thoughts when we
And prayers.
and hopefully our thoughts are good.
And Loki.
And I still
And
think
Loki.
the whole movie is introducing the blonde chick as the new Black Widow.
I think she died, and that's why Black Widow had blonde hair.
Why she dyed her hair blonde?
in Infinity War and Solidarity.
What?
I can't tell you.
Don't tell me.
I'm not going to tell you.
My theory is the reason Black Widow dyed her hair blonde was
Well, I think she was a bad guy, kind of a mole.
Bad guy?
Bad guy. And then she comes out of being the mole and
Okay.
ends up, you know.
yeah. My hope is if we get out of Black Widow and I find out why she was blonde in Infinity War, that's all I need to know. And we're good
Even
to
if the other character doesn't die.
go. It doesn't
She's
matter.
changed her hair colors multiple times, man. She's been blonde. She's
no.
had black hair. She's had red hair.
red hair, then blonde hair, then red hair.
She had black hair in one of them.
No. She had a wig on at some point.
No, and like Iron
She
Man
had different.
2.
The red had different tints at different
Yeah,
times,
but
but
it was
she's always
always
been a
red.
redhead. Like in Iron
I
Man,
am
2,
fairly
Iron
certain
Man,
she had black
At
hair.
the beginning of the Avengers, that's when she had the
bright
blonde
red.
hair. No, like the
Infinity War,
Yeah,
yeah.
she had blonde hair. All of a sudden, like, oh, what the?
Her
and
hair.
she looked ancient.
Her hair in Iron Man 2 was the
It was
more
darker,
auburn,
but it was still red.
yeah, but it was still red.
Hold on. I must know.
Well,
It was long
while he
and
looks
curly,
that
too.
While he looks that up, we're going to be signing off. Have a great week, and we will see you next week on the Unknown Comics Podcast. Bye bye.